In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create an equation as long as you know what the zeros are. Now, Kevin, what are zeros? Zeros are the answers. Okay, let me show you an example. Let's say I gave you x squared, take away 3x, take away 4, and I asked you to solve that. Well, most of you would realize that this is a trinomial, and you would try to make your two brackets, okay? And the number in the front it's a 1, so you don't have to go use those long, complicated methods. You could literally just take this number 4. I'm literally just factorizing a trinomial now. So you could write it as 2 times 2 or 1 times 4. And then you would use either these two, or you would use these two, and you would try to make this number over here. And so you could make that number by saying 1 minus 4, because that gives you negative 3. So 1 minus 4, and then you would say x, and then you would say that therefore x plus 1 must be 0, or x minus 4 would be 0. So this all assumes that you've watched how to solve quadratic equations, okay? And that would give you x equals to negative 1, or x is equal to 4. These parts at the bottom are called the zeros. So let's say, for example, they tell you what the zeros are. So they tell you that the 0 is minus 1, and they tell you that the 0 is 4. How do you then come up with the equation, which is this part at the top? How do we work backwards? Because here, I hope you can see, in this question I gave you the equation, and then what did we find? We found the zeros. But in this lesson, what we're actually going to be doing is they're going to give you the zeros, and you need to know how to go back to the equation. So what you do is for every 0 you make a bracket. Okay, so there's two zeros, so I make 2 brackets. Then what you do is you just say x and x, put a minus and a minus, okay, and then just fill in the zeros. So this 0 was a minus 1, and this 0 was a 4. So then what you do is a minus and a minus makes a plus, so it's going to be x plus 1 and x minus 4. And then what you do is you just go multiply these 2 brackets together using the FOIL method. So first times first, which is x times x, which is x squared. Then the outers, which would be those ones, and that's going to give you negative 4x. Then the inners, which would be the 1 and the x. And then the last times the last, which would be the 1 and the negative 4. Then you go ahead and you say x squared, take away 3x, take away 4. Look at that. We've created the equation just by knowing what the zeros were. That's what we're doing in this lesson. They're going to tell you what the zeros are, and so you need to find the original equation. By the way, all of the zeros in this lesson are going to be rational. Rational are nice numbers. It's like x equals to 1, x equals to 6, x equals to negative 2. In the next lesson, we're going to be doing irrational, which is like square root numbers, and we're also going to be doing imaginary numbers. When that happens, then there's an extra step that we need to include, but that's not what we're doing in this lesson. Okay, in this lesson, it's just going to be rational numbers. So here's our first example. So here we have, they've told us that one of the roots is a 0. Well, let's first see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, make 4 brackets. Perfect. Then say x minus in all of them. Then just go fill in your zeros. We always say x minus, by the way. Now go simplify. So x minus 0 is x minus minus becomes x plus 4, x minus 4, x minus 5. Next step, go multiply all of this together. So you can do this in multiple ways, but I'm going to multiply these 2 together, and then I'm going to multiply these 2 together. So for this first part, it'll be x squared plus 4x. Then I'm going to FOIL this next part. So it's first times first, which is x squared. Then it's the outer numbers. Then it's the inner numbers. Then it's last times last. I'm going to quickly put these 2 together. So it'll be x squared, take away 9x, add 20. Then I need to go multiply all of these together. So we're going to take this x squared, and we're going to multiply it to every single part. Like that. And so that's going to give us x to the power of 4 minus 9x cubed plus 20x squared. Now I'm going to take the 4x and I'm going to multiply to each part. And so that's going to be positive 4x cubed, negative 36x squared plus 80x. Okay, now what we do is we're just going to simplify. So we're going to put all the like terms together. So there's only one x4, so we'll write the answer up here. Then for the x3s, there's a -9 and a +4, so that's -5 x3s. Then there is a 20 take away 16, so that's going to be, 20 take away 36, which is take away 16 x squared, and then plus 80x. So that is the answer. Oh, and then you could say equals to 0. Sorry, I should have said all the brackets equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0, equal to 0. It's not that important, but yeah. Let's do another example. Here we have been given 3 zeros, so we make 3 brackets. So then we say x minus, x minus, x minus, go fill them in, -1, -2, 3. And so that becomes x plus 1. Oh, I should say equals to 0. X plus 1, x plus 2, and x minus 3. I'm going to multiply the first 2 brackets using FOIL. So that's going to be x squared. Then the outers would be 2x. The inners would be x. And the last would be 1 times 2, which is 2. I'm quickly going to simplify this. Okay, so now I need to take this x squared and go multiply it with both of those terms inside there. So it will be x cubed. Take away 3x squared, then what I'm doing now is I'm taking this number and I'm multiplying that in. So it'll be plus 3x squared minus 9x, and then I'm going to multiply these two, so it'll be plus 2x minus 6. Okay, so now we need to go put the like terms together, so that's x3, then the minus 3x squared and the plus 3x squared, that's going to cancel out. And then the minus 9x plus 2x will be -7x, take away 6. And then, of course, I should be saying equals to 0.